between males and females and always be sensitive to any possible significant difference between males and females. And I don't really manage to do that very often, but at my age you are given a certain leeway, I hope. Anyway, but we're talking about goats here. So I see romantic love as part of the slow, painful, and somewhat, but by no means completely successful, to bring the male into the domestic circle, because the female goats, they care about their kids. I mean, they exhibit behavior. They know which are their kids. They herd them into the little enclosure at night that keeps them safe from coyotes and cougars that we have up there. They feed them and nurture them. Well, you don't really know what's going through the female goat's mind, but somehow, evolutionarily, she's been wired up to care about these things, and you don't see that evolution too much of that for the billy goat. But interestingly, with humans, there is a biological basis for romantic love in this whole picture we have of a lifelong commitment between a male and a female, or two males or two females, centered on having and raising a family, for the most in paradigmatic case. What we call falling in love has a biological basis. They've studied people that fall in love. They've studied their brains. They've put little devices up to their brains and looked at what happens. Now, of course, I will spare you the deeply technical biological details of which I have no clue. But at least it's pretty clear that something happens in the brain of people who are falling in love that impairs rationality. The rationality centers of the brain actually are measurably in a different state. Experiments show that the same exercise of rationality that a person in the throes of love exercises on different matters will not be applied to the beloved. Neil wrote a dissertation on self-deception, and a lot of that seems to go on. That is to say, it's pretty obvious to you, or it would be if you were normal, that so-and-so is the case, but you're looking right at so-and-so and you don't draw the conclusion that that's the case. Relatively homely people think each other are beautiful. Relatively boring people think that each other are interesting. And so on and so on. And this is something, of course, we've observed for years from the third person, and experienced most of it once or twice from the first person, but it's really something going on in the brain. That's cool. But there's more to our current conception of love than just the biological need for sex, or just the biological need for sex combined with whatever this perturbation in the brains of humans that gets them to have a little bit more loony relationship to each other when they fall in love. What we think of as love is something that, it's supposed to last a long time. It's supposed to last forever, but at least for a long time. And it's supposed to lead to a kind of bonding and a teamwork that will sustain and nourish and develop a family, and then lead into your sunset years to sharing IRAs and grandchildren. Now, even with sex, there's teamwork. Not in the case of goats, as far as I can tell. But as Plato observed, the human during coitus becomes as one, as two halves of a single organism had found each other. It becomes, in his inimitable phrase, a beast with two backs. I'll let you dwell on that for a moment. But there's more teamwork involved in that. It's got to be something, if it's going to serve this purpose of keeping people together for long enough to raise and nourish a family, it's got to be more than that. And what supports that? What takes us beyond sex and the further little biological changes that we have in humans? Mostly culture. So where do we look to understand that? Of course, to great literature, or literature, as I should say. We might look to Shakespeare. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? In the east, in Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who already was sick and pale with grief, that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. That's Shakespeare. Isn't that beautiful? Well, actually, it's okay. 16th century anal pentameter, or whatever they call it. I mean, who really needs, you know, the broken, I mean, it doesn't even sound like good American. What we really need to do is go to the greatest literature of all time, which is the popular songs that I grew up with and have grown old with. And they not only express love, they are largely, for my generation, part of the reason we believe in love. So let's take that trope that Shakespeare gives us, the beloved as the sun, and see how it's transformed by the more refined and developed poets of our own century. I used to think you loved me. Now, if you recognize the song, or the singer of the song, or the group that sang the song, or the writer of the song, I want you to shout it out. Kind of like a show. I used to think maybe you loved me. Now I know that it's true. And I don't want to spend my whole life just waiting for you. Now I don't want you back for the weekend. Not back for a date. No, no, no. I said, baby, I just want you back, and I want you to say, yeah, oh yeah, now I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine. Whoa, I'm walking on sunshine, and don't you feel good?
Katrina and the Waves?
Huh?
Katrina and the Waves?
Katrina, great, Katrina, yes. Don't they teach Western culture at college anymore? How can you not know that? When I used to get up every Friday in order to make it to Rotary, it was just Katrina and Walking on Sunshine blaring from my radio that got me through that crucial part of the morning where you get your first cup of coffee. Well, here's another one, same trope. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
You long. Jimmy Davis, Governor of Louisiana.
Exactly! That was written and first performed by Jimmy Davis, Governor of Louisiana. You're from Louisiana, right?
God, no.
Aren't you a Cajun?
Yeah, you bet.
But each generation, it's been revived. I mean, if you're as old as I am, you remember Gene Autry singing that, and Bing Crosby. If you're not quite that old, maybe you remember Aretha Franklin, Johnny Cash, and Willie Nelson. And I'm sure Justin Bieber is just around the corner. Now, the idea of your beloved as the sun is such a good trope that it even appeals to great blind singers. That's a hint. You are the sunshine of my life. That's why I'll always be around you. You are the apple of my eye. Forever you'll stay in my heart. Exactly. I know that this is the beginning, though I love you for 1,000,000 years, but if I thought our ending was ending, I'd find myself drowning in my own tears. You are the sunshine of my life. So the two songs get merged like Siamese songs. But, as we say in the song business, oobla-dee, oobla-da, love goes on. And it's not all sunshine. Another major phase of love, and another major trope of love, and another major aspect of love is loss. The reality of loss, the fear of loss. Whoa, my love, my darling. I always thought that was, oh, my love, my darling, but I looked it up on the internet. It's, whoa, my love, my darling. Or maybe, you know, that's just what happens when they automatically go from the Sun song to the transcript. Because, whoa, my love, my darling. Whoa, anyway. Whoa, my love, my darling. I've hungered for your touch a long, lonely time. And time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much.
Righteous Brothers.
Righteous Brothers, exactly, one of the great sources of romantic insight. Are you still mine? I need your love, I need your love. Godspeed your love to me. Now, to be serious for a moment, I remember when Frenchie and I had been married, so maybe around a little less than 20 years. She had to go back to Kansas to deal with her sick parents, and I was left with 3 teenagers, one of whom got in trouble about 100 miles away. I was getting calls from the police and so forth, and you know, the bottom just dropped out of me. And right at that moment, I heard the Righteous Brothers singing this song, and I could not get it out of my mind. I wanted Frenchie back so badly. And of course, in those days, you didn't have, I mean, you know, it wasn't that long ago, but you didn't have cell phones. You talked once a day on the phone, and you looked at the clock to make sure you didn't spend too much money. So these songs, you know, once they get in your mind, they stay there. Sometimes it's not separation that's the word, but the actual loss of love. You never close your eyes anymore when I kiss your lips, and there's no tenderness like before in your fingertips. You're trying hard not to show it, baby. But baby, I know. Righteous, yeah, right. You've lost that loving feeling. Whoa! I guess I like that word. Whoa, that loving feeling. You've lost that loving feeling. Now it's gone. 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 Ooh. But love goes on. Another important trope is possession. After a while, your reason returns. Your perception returns. You look at your mate and say, what's so special about her? Or what's so special about him? He's not very bright. He's not very good looking. He doesn't earn all that much. What am I doing in bed with this guy? And then the answer is, well, possession. Of all the people in the world, he's yours. And you're hers. And that in itself is important. I keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I keep my eyes wide open all the time. I keep the ends out for the tie that binds because you're mine. Right, exactly. Not because you're beautiful, not because you're rich, not because you're famous, but because you're mine. I walk the line. Or sometimes it's hard to be a woman, giving all your love to just one man. You've had bad times and you'll have good times.
Stand by your man!
Yes. Hillary Clinton. Tammy Wynette. If you love him, you'll forgive him, even though he's hard to understand. If you love him, oh, be proud of him, because after all, he's just a man. That is, we've worked hard to get him so they don't pee outdoors all over themselves. On purpose, we've got them inside peeing on themselves by accident. But after all, they're still just a man. What do you expect, for crying out loud? Well, oobla-dee, oobla-da, love goes on. At some point, for a paradigm case, it's a shared enterprise, often a family, that holds you together. You no longer have enzymes in your brain distorting your vision and your reason. You may no longer have the sex drive you used to have. But you've got all these shared responsibilities. Now here it's more